Hey race fans, it's the start of a brand new decade, so don't be on the outside looking in. Straddle the technology fence with us and be part of all the action at every round of the 2020 season. With our all-new app, you'll now have live global streaming of all the action from the heart of each and every track. Live scoring, race highlights, replays, results and team and driver news. Everything you could ever want to be informed of the world of Trans Am and SVRA. Download now on Apple and Android, the only place to get your muscle car media. Welcome back to Mid-Ohio. As you can see, the cars getting ready for our feature race, which is TA, XGT, SGT, and GT. Don't think we've got any GTs out there this weekend, but the SGT Championship hotting up nicely, as is XGT. The weather is absolutely superb for racing, and I'm delighted to welcome to the booth, and I'm glad to say he's the star of the show this weekend after a performance that was absolutely top draw yesterday in TA2. His name, Adam Andretti. And great to always have an Andretti in here. We've got an Unzer across the road. But Adam, great race yesterday. You must have been so pleased jumping into the three-dimensional services car and putting it in the podium.
Yeah, thank you, Jonathan. Absolutely. You said it. Just couldn't be more proud to deliver to those boys and girls over there at Peterson Racing and for Three-Dimensional Services Group. Deliver them that 1-2 to be the teammate like I needed to be for Rafa yesterday, and he just drove the wheels off that thing. I said it from the end of our first session. I said, man, you're the guy to beat this weekend, no doubt in my mind, and I'm always very confident when I come here to Mid-Ohio. So, again, had such a great time racing with the likes of Mike Skeen, door-to-door on the start all the way through Thunder Valley, which is just unheard of around here at Mid-Ohio. You know, the racing we had, that was super clean, and it was a shame that he had his issues that put him out. You know, would love to have that battle continue. Tyler Casera, that was another fun battle, and then finally with Connor Mosak, what a fantastic young talent he is, and look forward to many, many more door-to-door hits with him. So this is what TA2 is all about, and I'm just so excited to be back with it, and to be with the Peterson Racing Group is just like a dream come true.
Well, let's get down to the business of this race as we look down at Tommy Drissi. Obviously, they've already qualified for this race. Let's take a look at what happened in qualifying. Paul Fix looking good and good enough. Certainly for fourth place, he came through towards the end there, and his time of 123.7, good enough for fourth. Chris Dyson, maybe disappointed, wanted the pole, but he ended up third with a 122.8. Simon Craig was out and on fire. Took provisional pole early on in the 59, did Simon, and would finish on a provisional front row start with 122.642. But Tommy Drissi came out for one last hurrah, and Tommy on point, on time, and with the best time, 122.315 to take the pole in TA. We saw the Audi R8 out in good fettle. Seth Lucas at the wheel, taking it to fourth overall. Mark Brumman taking third overall in the BMW M4 GT4. And then the Droneworks car of Justin Oakes will start on the front row as pole position in SGT. But there was no stopping this man, Eric Joyner, in car number 10, the Porsche 991 GT3R. The good boy Bob Coffey, Roadster Porsche number 10. Pole position for XGT. Well done to him. So that sets us up nicely. Adam Andretti will be alongside me to call the race, but let's head down now to our man on the moment and always is right there on the grid. It's Ben Sissel. Over to you.
Check. All right, here we are at the grid at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Tommy Drissi, jump in here real quick. Here I am at the pole. Tommy and I got to hang out last night. Thank you, and I want to congratulate you. You're running out of room here for the Motul Pole Award. But it's funny, we hung out last night and we watched his buddy with Simon Gregg, Ernie Francis Jr., run in the SRX series. And you were going, go Ernie, you were cheering for him. I'm guessing today you're not cheering for Ernie Francis Jr.
Absolutely not. But last night on that last green, he got up to 4th place, and I was like, okay, score some points. But, you know, those guys are just beating and banging, and Ernie's going to be smart about this. He can win that championship. So, but good luck to me, not Ernie, for this race. But, you know, I want Ernie to be able to run the whole race, come up with us, and fight hard. And I know Dyson's going to be here. Simon's going to be here. Fix is here. Amy. So, you know, you never know. But there's
look, come on in here, Ernie. So I sent you a video of your buddy Tommy Drissi cheering for you last night. He is not cheering for you today. You're starting at the back of the grid. How are you going to move up to compete with your buddy Drissi?
Yeah, I think it's just going to be trying to make through the field clean. It's a long race. I've done it before around here. I love this track, so I think just trying to run a clean race, get through the field cleanly, and slowly make my way to the front, be there by the end of the race. Hopefully we get a restart and get a good chance. But yeah, it's going to be a good fight. Really excited. Not too tired after last night's race and race this morning with FR. So staying energized and ready to go out there.
Nice. Well, we're proud of you, Ernie, but you've got a long walk back, not to be a jerk to your car, so you better start making your way now. Drissi, look at this, 1-2. What was Burton's setup? What did they get? They found a secret somewhere.
Yeah, we were off a little bit on the first practice, but we were equally off. So Simon was real close to me in a lot of areas, so all he had to do was duplicate that. JJ and Stick and Claudio got together, and they with Joe, and they made big changes, and it just came alive on qualifying. So that's great for Burton Racing. And Lucas Oil, Slick Mist, my family at home, Lacey, Jagger, and Leland, love you guys.
I love it. Well, Tony, if we can walk around here this way, we're gonna get over here. So Simon Gregg right here, second. Simon has won here 2012 and 2016. You seem to love Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, Simon.
Oh, yeah, it's my favorite track. It's a real handling course, and the cars are running really good this weekend. I appreciate how Burton team's doing, and Trans Am's putting on a great event this weekend. I hope everybody's watching at home, and check out the PeterGreggFoundation.org.
Nice. PeterGreggFoundation.org. Simon, I hope to see you at the top step again. It was fun hanging out with you last night. Good stuff. Now, Chris Dyson came in, I would say, visibly upset. Something broke on the front end of his car in qualifying. He was only 0.5 of a second off pole, but he wants every pole he can get. He needs every point he can get. But something that I want to point out that David Hoots, our new chief steward, is doing, we don't do split starts in the TA, XGT, SGT, GT class. So we have XGT right here, qualified right behind Paul Fix. He's back with us. He was back with us last week, or a couple weeks ago at Lime Rock.
So, sorry about that. Looks as though we just lost Ben for a second, but never mind. Doing a great job. Just introducing us to Paul Fix, who, Adam, came back at Lime Rock last week. Last week? It feels like last week. But a couple of weeks ago in the rain. It was good to have Paul Fix, and he's got a big history in Trans Am. Good to see him back.
Yeah, it is great to see him back, and we're going to see more of him. I went and talked to, him and his lovely wife Lauren, and she's the car coach. You can find her all over the place. Tons of social media presence with her. But anyway, they're going to be at Watkins Glen for the doubleheader, and they're going to be switching from the Chevrolet Corvette to Ford. So it's going to be a totally different package that they're going to be under. They're happy to be back with Ave, and Tony always puts a great package together for them, and they have a lot of fun racing together, and it shows. So they've had a lot of success. So it's great to have the Fixes back in the paddock here in Trans Am. They love being here. Paul spent some time in prototypes, and he just loved the GT racing, ready to get back into the GT car, and no better GT car really when you want to flex some muscle than a TA car.
Now, anybody who watched yesterday would assume you've been racing TA2 all season, but you haven't. This is where you started this season, in TA. And so these are the rivals that are really your rivals. So you know this grid better than anybody, but you've been watching it from the perspective of the commentary box. Sometimes happy about it, sometimes not.
Yeah.
But what have you seen this year that's impressed you? Because it is a different angle, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's a totally different angle. It's the consistency of Tommy Drissi this year has been probably, if I were going to give a most improved award already so far, it would be a really close tie between him him and Chris Dyson with Drissi being on an edge, because I know what Dyson's had, and they've just had some bad luck in the past, and they're just getting better consistency. Dyson, you know, their team, Chris Dyson Racing and that whole organization, they're doing what we've always expected, and now Tommy's stepped it up and has brought this consistency to the game with Burton Racing and Lucas Slickmist, and that's a good deal.
Let's head down to Ben. He's ready to go again.
So happy to be back at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course with some of the greatest fans and spectators in motorsports. We're about to do our invocation with the Trans Am pastor, Marvin Gray.
Let us pray. Thank you for the beauty of this place, Lord, and for the chance to enjoy the sport we love here. Thank you that we're here to have back all of our fabulous fans. Thank you for being here, fans. Now we ask for your protection for our drivers, crew, officials, workers, and our fans. We thank you for our healthcare workers and emergency workers, for our troops and safety forces, for all those who serve us. Bless and protect them as they serve us. And now we ask that you would please bring healing to all the land. In your name we pray, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Marvin Gray, thank you so much. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our grid master of Trans Am, Eric Whitnable, is about to throw it down with our nation's national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Oh, wait, Eric, you got to stay up here. We've got 30 seconds. That was unbelievable. The talent in Trans Am is thick. Our grid master throwing it down there for the national anthem. Unbelievable. We're so excited to be here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. I love looking up there in Madness and seeing all the fans up there at the keyhole, all of the campers. It's so great after this hiatus. I'm going to make Eric and Marvin Gray, come on over here, Marvin. You two gentlemen are going to deliver the most famous words in motorsports, but Mid-Ohio spectators, we need to hear you scream after they say it. Gentlemen, deliver those words.
Drivers, start your engines!
Good job, everybody. Back to you, Jonathan and Adam.
Wow. Not only the talent of Ben Sissel, but our own grid master. I've never seen anything like that. Eric, what a star.
I mean, I've heard him yell at me before, but I didn't know. I mean, I knew he had those kind of pipes, but not those kind of pipes. Yeah, no, that was impressive. A wonderful job, and always a great tribute to this wonderful country we live in here.
Adam, let's set this up. You were in a cracking race yesterday, and we really saw what Mid-Ohio is all about. You've instructed here. You probably know the circuit better than anybody else. Talk about what we're looking at in terms of Ernie Francis coming through, like you said, Tommy Drissi's consistency, and likewise Dyson's consistency. Who do you see taking the fight to this race?
Well, thanks for that, Jonathan. And I obviously didn't know it as well as Rafa, but no, he's a phenom, Rafa Matos. But here, what we can expect is, everyone always says you can't pass at Mid-Ohio, but I think what we proved yesterday was that's just the opposite. You know, I had a lot of great races yesterday. We had a lot of passing up at the front. So there is absolutely opportunities to pass. So Ernie's going to have his opportunities. He's going to move through the field, I think, quite quick. He'll get up into that top 5 rather quickly and then start picking them off inch by inch. Drissi, this is a track that's very difficult to pass. There are passing, but it is difficult when you're very fast. So, you know, Drissi can manage that. If he can manage that, keep calm, he's got a really, really good shot at keeping this race under his belt today.
I'm interested to see how Paul Fix, who ran well last time, goes. Also, Simon Gregg was provisional pole for a while in yesterday's session. He looked very good indeed. But then we're now getting to the halfway stage in the championship, and people are starting to think in those terms now. And you know what that's like. You've got to start making moves. You've got to start making it happen, haven't you?
Absolutely, yeah. No, you got to get going. I mean, this is always in Trans Am racing. It's always go time, and the championship battle is from race 1 till the final round in Circuit of the Americas. So, yeah, they're points racing a little bit, but we're still quite early on. You know, I know right now it's all about wins. You know, and I know Drissi, all he wants is wins, and I know Chris Dyson, talking to him, he's going after this win. I mean, there's just no bones about it. He feels like he left a lot on the table in qualifying with a little bit of a mechanical problem. So they've corrected all that as a great group like that would, and they're out there to win this race. So I think Chris Dyson's going to be definitely a force to reckon with here. And Mid-Ohio is tricky place. This place is, as we saw yesterday, cautions will breed cautions, and you'll get a long run, and then next thing you know, you'll have just this cluster of cautions coming up. So it's all about conserving your stuff too when you do get that lead and not jumping out into a big lead. I was talking to Seth Lucas, that 15-year-old kid, run the Audi R8, and that's the advice I gave him. I said, you get out in that lead. I said, you don't need to manage more than a 3-4 second lead, and just manage that so you don't tear your stuff up for when the late race caution comes.
You know, one person we haven't really mentioned much this season because she's been very quiet is Amy Ruman.
Amy, I just spoke with Amy, and you know, she's talking about they're not having obviously the season that she wants, but they're gaining on it.
Okay.
And you have watched the gap close to the front for her. It's gaining confidence in that Pirelli tire for her. You know, that's been the big battle that they have. She feels like she's got no grip, front rear grip. She just really doesn't have, it's not connected to the road, and they're working hard and they're trying to figure it out, and they're making gains on it. This is a home track. It looks like we're getting ready to go green.
Looks like we are. Wow, that was quick. No, I think surely not.
Oh no, I'm sorry. They'll go green there. That's the restart area.
You had me going there.
Sorry about that, Jonathan.
All right, little false start there by both Mr. Andretti and Mr. Green.
Yeah, that's a big mistake on my part. My apologies,
fans. The reason why we
fans.
jumped the gun a little is because the race starts down the back straight, and that's for safety purposes. Because Mid-Ohio, this first corner is just a little too prickly for a race start. So the actual race start, and of course we saw the safety car come off because there's nowhere else for him to come off. So the race start now, they'll start to group up here, coming into the keyhole, and then down the mid part, the kink if we call it, turn 3 here at Mid-Ohio is where we'll start this race, which means turn 4, the big braking sector, is the first corner.
Exactly. I don't think we're the only ones fooled. Tommy Drissi came out of the carousel like that was the start.
Yeah, he did. Simon Gregg could get a run on him, and Paul Fix is there, so too Dyson. Let's keep an eye on Eric Joyner. The SGTs proved, certainly in the wet conditions, that they could be on level par. Here we go then. Drissi gets away well. Dyson got away well too. And already Dyson vying for a second place overtake, but can't quite do it.
Well, Simon Gray's taking advantage of that high line there in turn 4. That's something I found yesterday, to have a lot of grip out there, and it gets you a good line going into 5 on that person you're trying to overtake. Dyson's not giving up, but he's got to give up the position here right now because you can't really run side-by-side too well through madness here, but it's a top 3 right there.
Coming up to Thunder Valley for the first time, and it's Drissi who leads. And a good clean start, but boy, they're bumping almost into each other there, under braking. Down the valley they come, towards the carousel for the first time. Simon Gregg got a great start. Fix is there. Here's Amy Ruman, the lady we were talking about in the Nichols 23 Corvette. On board with David Pintari. He's been having a good season as David. Now he's in that Mustang, really enjoying it. Ernie Francis Jr. is already behind Pintari.
Oh, my goodness.
That gets interesting.
Yeah, now that kid, I tell you, he was going to make it to the top 5 rather quick. I didn't say by lap 1, but we're almost right there for him. So, yeah, no, wouldn't expect anything less from Ernie, popping on David Pintari already. closing in on Amy Room, and I would expect him to attack on Amy coming down the back straightaway here.
And Adam Andretti has raced Ernie for a long time, and he would have started in the same position as Drissi, and I know you'd be thinking, when's Ernie coming, when's Ernie coming?
Absolutely, yeah. You know, I mean, you're looking in the mirror and seeing him move through the field no matter what, and I'm sure, you know, he's a points leader, Tommy, so I'm sure that they're giving him information on who's coming, but Tommy's doing exactly what he needs to do to manage this race in this moment, and again, I'm looking for an attack on Dyson, because Dyson doesn't want to let this race get away from Tommy to get too far out. So,
and in fact, that's Tommy's plan. You can see he's sprinting ahead. I asked you a stupid question last time out about strategy, and you said, well, you did. You answered it correctly, which is, I'd love to give you a strategy, but frankly, TA racing is just 100 miles of sprint racing.
It is. It's 100% of that, and Pirelli builds such a good tire that, you know, it doesn't really fall off in that sense. So you got a good battle here between Amy. Amy's doing a heck of a job holding her own with Ernie. I really thought that attack was going to come down the back straightaway, but here we are all the way back to the carousel, and Ernie is still battling here with Amy. So looks like he might make a move here into turn 1, possibly.
Ernie Francis Jr. on triple duty this weekend. He's got another FR race yet later today.
Man, he's the hardest working man here at Mid-Ohio for sure this weekend. And Central Ohio, I should say, since he went to Rossburg, Ohio and Eldora Speedway last night and came back. So he's not the only one that did that. Chris Dyson actually went and watched his Silver Crown team win the Silver Crown race there, the USAC Silver Crown race. So hats off to the Dyson Racing team for that one.
Story. And if you're wondering why we wax rhapsodic about Ernie, the truth is, we all love him. He's such a great guy, and he is such a good guy. And what I mean by that is, if you had a problem, Adam, in your car, who would be the first guy to say, hey, I've got to spare one of those?
Yeah, the Francis family are a great group of people, and Ernie is, EFJ, as we love to call him, is definitely a chip off the old block. And yeah, you're right. We love Ernie because he's a good kid. He's a racer. He is there every week doing the duty, doing the job. I mean, you can't say he's not a racer and see what his schedule looks like this year. So, just really, bad news. Bad news for David here. This is mechanical.
Yeah.
This looks like a mechanical issue, and that's a real shame.
Sadly, David Pintarek in the Ford Mustang out of the race early on. It's an hour long, or just over, as you can see. We're hitting the 1 hour mark now, as Drissi, flames pouring out the back.
He's got a fire, actually. He's got a fire out of the back of the car.
He has got a fire out of the back of the car.
Tommy is on fire in the back of the car, so I don't know if the team needs to get a hold of that, but I would hope that not to get out of control as the fuel is back there. So
oh, no. He has got a fire.
This is something that they need to call him. Trans Am was really good about telling us exactly where the fire trucks are. So there is a fire truck coming up there in turn 5.
Tommy, and he's going to be pouring oil as well out.
Yeah.
That's what's causing that. And Tommy needs to pull out of the way, just as he did at Atlanta. But now he's going up full speed. I'm on fire.
Yeah, he needs to go to the top of turn 5 on the outside. There's a fire truck. So if he were
Does he know that?
Well, Trans Am told us where. So if he paid attention in the driver's meeting, he should know. But it's
he's out now.
Yeah, it's out. So, but that's interesting. I mean,
I have never seen the leader of a race burst into flames and then manage to put it out without doing anything.
Well, I think that happened to Bobby Unser at Indy one time, and he refused to stop. He said the wind will put it out.
That
did.
sounds like Bobby.
Yeah, it did. it does, 100%. It sounds like an Unser period, and I think it was Bobby.
Rest in peace, Big Bobby.
Rest in peace, buddy. But yeah, absolutely. This is interesting here to see what that does to our leader in his race, and if that fire did indeed go out, or if that's going to be something persistent.
Now, Dyson will have seen everything going on in front of him and will be both cautious and wanting to get by as quickly as possible, because obviously, whatever's the problem with Tommy, he's not going to be at full throttle. He comes across the line now, and look at who's in third. Look at who's in third. Number 98, Future Star Racing's Ernie Francis Jr.
Boy, he got through turn 1 really well, and Dyson knew it. He had to throw a little bit of a protection there, and also at the same time showing his nose on Tommy and getting inside of Tommy's head a little bit there too as well. So
now, will Ernie make a move on Dyson now, you think?
Possibly, but you know, I said that Ernie was going to make a move on Amy down this straightaway, and that never happened. So Ernie seems to be wanting to use the element of surprise, which is a smart thing to do here at Mid-Ohio for sure. Everyone's expecting a pass here into turn 4.
Yeah.
But
where can you do a surprise move?
You know, if you get a good run up out of turn 10 and could get alongside of them down Thunder Valley and be on the outside of turn 12 like Mike Skeen and I did yesterday, that was a good opportunistic moment. But yeah, here in Mid-Ohio, you can find your moments. You certainly can, because there's grip in places that you wouldn't expect it.
on board with Ken Thwaites now, new to TA and having won the XGT Championship in that Audi R8 last year. And we're really looking forward to seeing what Ken can do. And as you can see, high above, there is Ernie Francis Jr. You can see the gap from the drone, and Ernie's right where he needs to be now.
This is a great race up front here in Mid-Ohio. This is why they call it the country's finest here, because it just puts on great racing. You can throw a blanket over the top, 10 here almost. So some good race with Eric Joyner and Kerry Hitt there as well. Mixing classes is always fun, and I know this is a really good track for a Porsche. So this is definitely should play into Eric Joyner's hands as well. And Paul Fix there just ahead of Amy, and then you got Ken Twaites. Ken Twaites gonna be happy to be in this battle. He was saying this is what he was wanting. He was wanting this kind of fight all day long.
In 7th overall at the moment, leading XGT Eric Joyner in the Porsche you mentioned, and also leading in SGT. It's Justin Oakes at the moment from Mark Brumman, excuse me, and then Seth Lucas, the youngster. You said you spoke to Seth.
I spoke to Seth and his parents. I got to meet his mom and dad there down in the paddock. Nice people, wonderful people. His dad's a former IndyCar engineer and was around IndyCar racing and ran Indy Lights teams. And Simon Gregg really seems to have a mechanical.
Another big racer out.
That's a shame. He was having such a positive weekend for that Peter Gregg Foundation livery. They were set up in the paddock trying to get these 17 to 21-year-old kids signed up for the Peter Gregg Foundation, and they'll be at Road America next week as well. So if you're in the area and you've got an interest in motorsports.
You know what? That was just a stuck camera.
Oh, okay. So he's just fine. Okay, good. Well, then that's good.
It was just the camera that froze, thankfully.
Yeah, no, thank God. Yeah, no, we'd rather that be the case.
55 minutes to go. Eric Joyner passes our commentary position as we continue to watch the top three. Ernie at the moment has come to a bit of a halt in his progress because obviously now he's hit the big boys, and Dyson is not the kind of guy that's to pull over and let Ernie pass, especially as both of them are going for the championship, all three, in fact.
This fire, as we're on board with Dyson, this fire out of Drissi's car is still persistent. It's got a little bit of a flame coming out of the bottom of it still, so it still is a concern for me, for Tommy Drissi. So I would hate to see something happen there. That's all I'm concerned about there. Fires are only, like, talk to any race car driver, and fire is the only thing we really fear. That's why we'll happily put on as much fire protected gear as we can. And even in these hot conditions to get inside these cars, because that's just the one thing that we do not want to experience.
Yeah, ask Ricky Bobby, ask Roman Grosjean.
Exactly.
Joking aside, Roman Grosjean, first with the extinguisher at Detroit.
Yeah.
He's had enough. Now, this is where they're watching, and I think your caution is the same as this man's. He's watching very closely on the pit wall, and he might just be making a decision now as to whether to continue to race with this Lucas Slick Mist car of Tommy Drissi.
It's periodic. Like, so last time they were on board with Chris, you could see it. This time down the front straightaway, it wasn't doing it.
Great picture from Tony Garcia there.
That is a nice shot.
Camera to show us exactly and illustrate what he is looking at. And he's looking at the back of that car, as is Chris Dyson. And this will be a worry for Dyson about how he plays it, because he knows that is not normal, and he'll probably be wondering if there's anything slippy coming out of it, like oil.
Absolutely, and I mean, I'm sure Chris is doing the same thing.
Burning the oil, because that's what fire is.
Exactly. I'm sure Chris is doing the same thing that I'm doing, calling in on the radio and for Tommy's safety, and because you're just concerned for your fellow competitor at that point.
Yeah.
There's so much volatile liquid in that part of the car that you don't want to see that part of the car on fire.
No, you do not. Well, Ernie continuing in third place. He's done a great job. He didn't qualify for the simple reason that he was racing on the CBS Network SRX Championship last night after finishing his FR race yesterday. He then did 3 races Saturday night, flew back, and is now here. Luckily, they're in the same state, but that's Ernie for you.
Now, what a fantastic race up front here for the top 3. I hope you fans are enjoying this at home as much as I am, because this is just an absolute, absolutely it is. I know we're not getting side-by-side battles, but just the way that these 3 are cat and mousing each other, positioning their cars, like Tommy right there, knowing he's not getting the run there, kind of positioning the car, making Chris guess where he's got to be, and Ernie's kind of just sitting back and hoping that those 2 go racing here soon. Or maybe waiting for traffic, which looks like is coming up to get into the mix. Because traffic in Mid-Ohio,
like
Jonathan,
David Pintarik is the man coming back on track, but his experience will keep him offline and out of the way. But I thought about this yesterday with you. You know, you forget sometimes. This is a great cat and mouse, but we've got 52 minutes to go. How long can you keep that going?
That's the thing, yeah. At some point, you know, all depends. Like, I feel, you know, Tommy could be doing a strategy to the point to where he's just setting a pace that he knows that he's not burning on his stuff and leaning on his equipment too hard. You really have to nail a couple corners here not to be passed.
Yeah.
And if you can nail those corners and get those runs, then it's really hard to pass you. So, or you know, you might be down on power. Oh, that's a hard hit for Ken Twaites. Gosh, I hope he's okay.
Ken.
That looks like a pretty good hit there. And he looks okay. He's moving around in the car.
Yeah, that's a heavy hit for Ken Twaites.
So this is a signal we give that we're okay. If we put the window net down, that's our signal to the safety teams that we're okay. So, so that's a good sign. That's what we want to see out of a driver. In an open wheel car for the fans at home, if you see the driver lift their visor, that's a signal to the safety teams that we're doing okay.
But let me put you back in your car at the number 43 and just tell me what you would do once it came on the radio that this happened now and you were running in that lead group. Here's what happened to Ken, first of all.
Oh,
well.
That looks like a brake failure.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, that looked like a brake failure because he didn't get any speed off the car before that hit. That's a hard hit. If you lose the brakes down there at the end of China Beach, right there at the end of the straightaway, turn 4, he skipped right through China Beach.
He did. Wow. So anyway, go back to what I was saying. Let's hope that Ken is okay. Obviously, they're looking on the computer to see how he is, but he's okay. And as you can see, he's out of the car, visor up. But what would you do now tactically to sort of rethink it now that you've got, what, the best part of 35 laps to go, 50 minutes to go, or do you just stay where you are, stay calm and do a systems check?
Yeah, now's a stay calm moment. You know, you're going to feel how your car is. You have a little bit more adjustment in a TA car than you have in a TA2 car. You do have roll bar adjustments that you can make. So depending on your car's handling, this is a good time to do those things.
Let's head down to the pit lane and talk to Thwaites' team because obviously they are in the thick of it at the moment.
So I'm here at the pit. I'm here at the pits with Gary Seelix, the crew chief for Ken Twaites. Gary, what happened and what's your driver saying?
We had some brake failure go on. We're trying to figure it out right now. The car looks pretty bad, but we'll get her fixed up before Road America and back in the mix.
Nice. So he had brake failure at 4 and through the gravel into the wall?
Yes, I believe so.
Driver's okay?
It's fine.
Nice. So Ken Twaites hard into the wall. Gary Seelix giving us saying he'll be ready for Road America next weekend. Back to you, Johnny.
Here's the onboard. And Adam, you're the driver. You tell me what happened.
Yeah, he's got no brakes. Yeah, that's pretty simple. Yeah, that's a scary ride. Yeah, right then it's you don't have many options, right? When you have a stuck throttle, you can hit the ignition switch. You can push in the clutch. When you have no brakes, you're kind of run out of options other than grabbing a big downshift and trying to lock the rears and spin it. But he couldn't even get that done in the amount of time. And the air that he caught, if he'd have tried to turn the car, it might have rolled him over. So he did the right thing.
Yeah.
And I tell you right now, knowing Gary as well as I know him, few people in the world can bend and weld steel as good as he can and rebuild a car. So you know, he's from a legendary family and a legendary father, and I know that he's going to get that car ready for Ken to be back at Road America and be strong.
Yeah, the only thing scarier, I think, than a brake failure is what happened to Rosenquist at Indy last week, which is a throttle.
Well, he had the double combo. From what I understand, it was a hung throttle and brake failure all at once for him. So yeah, he had about the double whammy that you can ever imagine. So Felix, one of the nicest people I've ever known in my life. I mean,
lovely guy.
Just a wonderful individual. So it was a shame to see him and go through that. And he dealt with the concussion protocol stuff with IndyCar, but it seems like he's doing really okay. And physically, he was fine. So that's fantastic.
Well, there's your XGT leader, Eric Joyner, in that white and black Porsche 911, a beautiful car. If I had a choice to get in any of those cars, I think it would be that one.
No, I know you're a big fan. It is a gorgeous automobile, and it was literally pitted right next to us, paddock right next to us all weekend long. And my wife definitely enjoyed their coffee quite a few times.
We enjoyed her interview yesterday.
Yeah.
She was so riled up. It was great.
She's my biggest fan by far. We're each other's biggest fan, and we have a lot of fun racing together. And we just it's just such a blessing to be a part of this group, and to be doing what we're doing in Trans Am and in TA2 again is really fun. But this TA race is something special to watch here. And Simon, you know, he got picked on a little bit there and fall back to fourth, but is holding his own with Paul Fix and Amy Ruman shortly close by.
Yeah, let's give you a quick, while we're under safety, it's Tommy Drissi who leads on fire. Well, not at the moment.
Not anymore, thank God. Thank goodness.
Not.
Thank goodness whatever that is gone.
Drissi, Dyson and Francis, that's your top three. XGT is led by Eric Joyner at the moment. He's in 7th overall. SGT, Justin Oakes has gone to the top of there, and now Seth Lucas has moved up to 3rd with Mark Drummond still in that BMW in 2nd in SGT. Mike Weathers got some work to do in XGT. He's down in 17th position. And there's a couple of guys out already. That's David Pintaric, who's now back out on track, and Ken Twaites obviously involved in that incident where brake failure has sent him heavily into the wall at 4.
Yeah, that's no place where you want that. You know, for me, I don't care what I drive at Mid-Ohio, I give a comfort tap on the brake getting into 4 a good 500 feet before I'm even in my braking zone.
Just so you know it's
Just so I know my pedal's there, because the earlier you know, the better. And I'm not saying Ken didn't do that or whatnot.
Yeah.
He just, the brake failure is just scary. And that's the one place, because Mid-Ohio is really hard on brakes. You're on them a lot, and you don't give them a lot of time to breathe. There's only this one back straightaway where they really get a breath of air.
How about this for a story? That's Milton Grant. This is his 500th motor race.
That's awesome. No, that's awesome. 500 is such a special number in motorsports, right? You know,
Yeah.
Indy 500, Daytona 500, and you know, it's always such a wonderful theme.
But those
for
are miles.
sport, so,
He's actually
yeah.
raced.
I know. I know, right? 500 races.
How many miles is 500 races?
I don't want to know. I mean, these are 100 miles apiece if you did these. They're
nuts.
500,000 miles.
Congratulations, Bill. Well
yeah,
done.
Congratulations. Well done.
Really good. And he's still going good too. Milton currently 15th he's in SGT, so he's what? He's 4th at the moment, 5th at the moment, behind Billy Griffin.
Gotcha.
The man leading SGT at the moment is
Justin Oakes.
Justin Oakes, yeah.
Yeah.
In the 11.
That's a good, very beautiful car, that DroneWorks car.
Yes.
That DroneWorks Corvette. I know we get a lot of, you know, when it's a beautiful car because the cameramen are always, the camera operators are always, going for it. So.
Yeah, there it is.
You can't miss it.
You can't miss it. The Dayglow green black weaving from side to side of Justin Oakes. DroneWorks car. I love cars that really ping on screen, and that really does.
No, it does. It absolutely does. You can't mistake it. Justin's been driving incredible all year. Like, he's been flawless. You can see it. I mean, his head's in the game the whole time. I mean, we're in the thick of this caution. He's one of the only ones out there keeping his tires scrubbed and things like that. So his focus is there. He's ready to. He's there to win races. That's for sure.
Yeah, no question about it. So, 44 minutes. We're under caution here. This is our TA feature race of Sunday here at Mid-Ohio. Adam Andretti, having had a great TA2 race on the podium for a brilliant 1-2 yesterday with Rafa Matos.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, we had a good time yesterday, and that was just some great battling. And
we were agenting for you. Ben was asking Doug Peterson if the three-man team was going to stay for the season.
Well, yesterday I got word that yes, we'll be running that TA2 car the rest of the year. So,
good man.
So we're very excited to be again.
I like to break a news story.
Yeah, right. We just got to do that. But yeah, three-dimensional services group, Doug Peterson and Peterson Racing. I couldn't be in a better place right now.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you so much.
Well deserved and well hard work for, I may add.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was a lot of fun working with them this weekend. You know, the camaraderie within the group, and Rafa, I got to say, is out of any teammate I've ever had, and I'm not putting any of my teammates down in the past. Rafa's the best teammate I've ever had. He's a phenomenal learning tool. He wants his teammates to go well, and so think we're getting ready to go for a restart here. Lights are off on the pace car, and we're peeling off.
Yeah, and Drissi's just reported that in the in-car feed that his gearbox feels like it's about to let go, but we'll bring Ben Sissel in a moment because he's up on this, as always. But away we go then. And Dyson trying desperately to get past because he knows Ernie Francis is going to try to pass him. They head to the keyhole, a key corner here. Out of shape for a moment. Dyson all over the back of Tommy Drissi. This is his chance if he's going to make it. Look at this. They're side by side, and through the inside goes Ernie Francis Jr. up to second, or does he? Because back comes Drissi. It's a drag race. Adam, you call it.
This is going to be a great race down into turn 4. There is grip on the outside. Chris and I were talking about it. I told him, I said, you know, if I taught you anything yesterday, you can squeeze this down in the apex. He can hold that outside line like he's doing. He'll have the inside into turn 5 and should be able to complete the pass. Yep, there he goes. So great job defending there by Chris. And now he needs to go and attack Tommy Drissi. This is the time when you make these passes, is on these restarts. So as Ernie's trying to make that example right now.
That was exactly what you did yesterday, yeah?
Yeah.
Interesting, very interesting. Why are you sharing that information?
Well, I don't have a TA write it for Mid-Ohio this year.
There you go. Good point. Ben Sissel's back in the box. Ben, what's going on?
Well, I said it yesterday, Trans Am does not disappoint here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Really impressed with what I'm seeing from Ernie, but I was talking to Terry St. Martin there at the grid, who's the chief, talking to Tommy Drissi. Tommy kept saying the car was on fire. Terry went out to look at it, didn't see it. Next time he came around, saw a big fire, and they were trying to determine whether or not they wanted him to come in. And I guess he did the old World War II bomber trick and just went really fast, hoping that it would extinguish the fire, and right now they don't have a fire.
Well, we got somebody else who's done that, Bobby Unser, right?
Yeah.
According to Adam.
You know, you bring up gearbox problems. That very well could have been gearbox fluid that was coming out off the back and flames that we were seeing.
Which isn't as dangerous, if you like.
Yeah, but you know, it's very volatile. My ECC, Engineer Components Company, AJ Hendrickson, team owner there, literally had the gearbox fire, and that's what burned his hands up very bad, like Romain Grosjean's hands, if you will. But so it's still serious stuff. So. But happy that it's out and it seems to have extinguished itself. Probably ran out of fluid. That's why he's got gearbox issues.
Well, we saw this with you yesterday. This is intense on this track because you're moving all the time, and that you can throw a blanket over them. I mean, there's nothing between these three, and you can see how hard they're pushing.
And it's so incredibly slick there, Jonathan. I can't even, it's been a long time since we've had new pavement here at Mid-Ohio.
Yep.
And they run a lot of cars here with a lot of downforce, so it's polished the pavement and the driving line, so you find it to be very, very, very slick right on line too.
No chance of Ernie falling asleep at the end of the race, is there? I mean, he's been racing so hard.
That kid, no, because he'll I tell you what he'll do. He'll go back and he'll load the trailer, and then
He hasn't finished yet. He's got another race.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. They've got so much work yet to do. So no, that kid I don't think ever rests.
No.
And you know, we always talk about these cars not having, except for that one, ABS traction control, but I bet you he feels like it does after spending so much time on dirt.
Yeah,
he feels like, man, this car's hooked up.
Yeah, I'll bet. We're on board with Joyner. We just saw a lovely shot of him as he goes to the inside of Amy Ruman.
Poking his nose in there a little bit, you know. This is a Porsche track, as I mentioned before. This is a classic Porsche track. Tommy Drissi actually opened up a little bit of a gap for himself and give him a little bit of breathing room.
Is it harder to lead or follow?
You know,
I think leading with these two behind you would be really tough.
It's usually harder to lead, depending on your car, though, right? Like if you have a car that you're so confident in that you can pull those gaps, then yeah, you're very happy to be out front. But
if you have gearbox problems and a fire, you're probably wondering what next.
Yeah, I mean, you want to try and move as much gap as you can, right, to try and manage that problem. But yeah,
The only thing I would add, I would like to be Ernie with 38 minutes to go because he can see what's going on, and he's more in control of this race than Tommy is right now.
Right, he's got, you know, whatever laps these people that I don't know how many laps Chris Dyson or Tommy Drissi put on their tires yesterday in qualifying. That's how many less laps Ernie's got on his tires. You know, Ernie didn't qualify yesterday, and that's something we haven't mentioned. He started this race on a set of sticker Pirellis. So his tires. So I look for him at the end of this race when Mid-Ohio blows the rear tires off of these Trans Am cars. I look for Ernie to be the guy that's really going to come on.
Well, I noticed that Ernie's there, and he's not really making a big attempt to try to overtake. So is he saving tires a little bit while being behind Dyson like that?
Yeah, Ernie's being smart. You know, he attacked on that restart because that's what you do on restarts, because that's the easiest time to grab a position. But right now, yeah, John seems to be having an issue here. That's a shame.
John Bockham into the GT class of cars, SGT there, but you know, used to run TA.
Yeah, I asked him how he likes it. He loves that fact that it's low maintenance.
Yeah.
You know, much lower maintenance than these, so he feels like he gets more track time out of it. I feel ironic saying that's why I giggle a little bit that he was on there on pit road with a paramechanical. I hope everything's okay there, but yeah, he's enjoying the GT car and excited to be back in the Trans Am paddock, and we love having John here.
We're watching a really interesting game of cat and mouse at over 40 miles an hour as the top three, there's nothing you could throw between them. As we look back now at Simon Gregg, still in the hunt in 4th place at the moment, but on his own for now. Only needs a caution and he'll catch up as we go on board, as past the start-finish goes Gregg and under the bridge.
Just got reports that Tommy Drissi was saying that his transmission temperature was going between 200 and 350 and could see flames in his rearview mirror. So that's not a comfortable driver.
No, that's someone that, and that's just distractions too, right? Like, you know, racing's tough enough without any distractions in there, and he's got all these things trying to distract Tommy. And if anyone knows Tommy, he doesn't need much to be distracted. So.
You said it. But no, you're absolutely right. I mean, you know, there's enough going on where it is. Yeah. He's an emotional guy.
Yeah.
And he doesn't, you know, he talks on the radio all the time, which amazes me. But
well, this is where I'm so proud of Tommy and where he's developed as a driver this year. In the past, something like this would have really shook Tommy.
Yes.
You can see him opening a gap and really managing his race, and that's where I think we've all watched him in Trans Am paddock really mature as a driver here in the Trans Am Series.
Well, tense moments for everybody watching on the pit lane.
That's Chris Dyson's team, and actually some of the Greg Pickett crew I see over there too, so that's kind of neat. So Altwell is out there. Chris Dyson first in points, I believe, but second in this race right now. But I think we're looking at our top three. I could be wrong, but I believe we're looking at our top 3 in points and top 3 in race right now.
Yes, I think you are.
I think you are. I think you're exactly right the way they line up is where they're at.
Ben, you missed the big news of the weekend. Guess who's got to drive for TA2?
How cool is that?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, so
you're fired from the announcer booth.
You fired me, right? Fired me from the booth.
Isn't that great? Isn't that great to be fired from the booth to go racing?
There's worse things. I like to think that's a leave of absence for this moment.
All right, sabbatical.
Like a sabbatical.
What you didn't see, we had a driver's briefing, and then they went, "Oh my God, please give him a drive. We can't handle it anymore."
Yeah,
he knows too much.
So you all just pitched in.
Yeah,
you guys all just pitched in.
He knows our secrets. Panteric's back out and rolling well.
I can't thank you all enough for the support that you've all shown me and Trans Am shown me, and the fans, all the fans. The fans here in Mid-Ohio have been amazing this weekend.
Man, you put on a show yesterday. Are you kidding?
No, I haven't been able to walk 5 feet out here today without someone stopping and telling me how much they enjoyed that yesterday. And,
good.
So that was.
I loved it. It was so much fun.
You take a lot of pride in that, you know. And you have people that have been watching races a long time tell you that's the best race they've ever seen, and
that's nice.
It's really strong. It really pulls on your heart. It makes me think about my dad and my brother. And,
yep.
I know that they were smiling down, and you know, I was talking to them a lot yesterday. I said, "How'd you like that pass?" And they said they couldn't pass Mid-Ohio. We'll show them. And so I had a lot, you know, a lot emotionally out there going on for me. That was working in my favor too.
Awesome.
So,
and I love the comments from Tabitha also. But I did just get a text from John Claggett, the president of Trans Am, so he would know. Chris Dyson is in the lead in points with 112 points, followed by Tommy Drissi, who has 100 points. And then ironically, Ernie Francis in the 98 has 98 points. So that's not including qualifying. So that means that Drissi probably went up a few points with qualifying. But that was coming into Mid-Ohio. So it is a very close points battle. But I got to mention, I don't know if you guys have, Ernie Francis Jr. undefeated at Mid-Ohio, has not come in second or lost or anything. He's only won at Mid-Ohio, I believe, 7 times.
Yeah.
Wow, this is like reminiscent of Mark Marquez in the Sachin ring, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Coda.
Yeah, or Coda. No, this is that's fantastic. That's a fact I didn't know.
But that's not just in TA, because I was here in 2016 when Simon Gregg won.
Yeah.
You know, so that was when he was in the other
TA3
classes,
and
like
TA4,
what we know now as GT and SGT. Yep. But you know, I've got to give it up for Drissi.
Yeah, he's doing a
with
good job.
all the stuff that's been happening, to keep these two Meissen chassis behind him, that's
yeah.
got to be difficult.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of hard work. Like he mentioned, JJ, their shock specialist over there at Burton Racing, he does a phenomenal job. I mean, JJ is one of the brilliant minds, you know, of the damper world, and so he gets these Burton cars turning and gets those Pirelli tires working, and so yeah, they're very competitive cars, and Tommy's putting it down. I mean, like I said, I cannot say enough about Tommy's driving this year. I feel like it's a different person, and it's just it's fantastic to see. I love watching him drive. It's fun to race with him. So it's just good things. It's good things for Trans Am. It's good things for Burton Racing, Lucas Slickmist, and Tommy Drissi.
Now we just saw Eric Joyner going through. There's Pintarek coming into shot now. He's back out on track.
Yes,
Good
he
to
is.
see
Yeah,
him.
that is good.
But look how far Joyner is up the road from the DroneWorks car, which is leading SGT at the moment. And he'll be followed by Drummond. There is Mark Drummond in the all green just coming through shot. And Drummond chasing him down. So we've got a good battle in SGT.
Do we know what happened to Mike Weathers, the number 48, the
Well,
XGT?
He's down in 18th place.
No.
I didn't know if something had happened, but he's
But
with
yeah,
the Justin Oak
he's
stable.
Yeah, he's got 5 laps.
But see, Mark Drummond in that BMW, that's a really good car here at Mid-Ohio. I'm sure he came to grid hoping for rain, but that's still, for this twisty track like this, as we saw him just go on the inside there, that Mustang. And he's got some road time here at Mid-Ohio as well.
I believe that's John Bockham, so he's back out there as well. So that's good news. So
Mark,
he's getting his laps. So yeah, that's a good little battle here. Oh, look at him toss it right in there. That's slick. I'm telling you, Mid-Ohio is a slippery course these days, and you know, there's actually grip off line here for the first time that I've ever seen. And but if you get up on the curb, they'll load it up. So you know, we're getting reports that Tommy doesn't have brake lights, which would make sense because the fire that he had back there would have burned.
Burned the plastic.
Yeah.
but it's from a competitor. I got a text from a competitor. That's not official yet from race control. So, but I love it that the competitors are texting the announcers about these things.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll get up to race control.
They're figuring we're going to be the voice
Hang
for
on a
it.
minute. You're not telling me they're texting you while they're racing.
No. I mean, you know, the teams.
The teams.
Yes.
Okay, good.
All right. So
traffic, they're getting into traffic now. This is when Mid-Ohio really will mess with you, because you could be 5 seconds a lap faster than somebody, and if you hit them at the wrong spot here at Mid-Ohio, you're stuck behind them.
Yeah, there's that Audi R8 just behind the 14 of Billy Griffin.
Seth Lucas, the 15-year-old out there doing a great job. You know, I told his dad, I said, you know what kind of expectations you set by putting your 15-year-old kid in an Audi R8?
Yeah, no kidding.
yeah.
Well, what's he done before?
No, he's been doing karting and drove that KTM in a club. This is his first pro race.
It was a 13-year-old that just woke up when he saw that it was an Audi R8 and thought, I'll have a go at that.
It's a beautiful thing. I was like, you know, and he's appreciative of it too. Like he really does appreciate his parents for what they're doing and the sacrifices being made for him to get inside that race car. So
I have to say, if he is going this well at 15, you can see the kind of way of forming an Ernie Francis out of that, because he's got the time.
I spoke to him at Tech for about 5 minutes, and I was just very impressed with him. Actually, a Buckeye from Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
And he's coming to it with the right attitude. He's like, I'm here to learn as much as I can.
And it is the best attitude to have. And we were talking about what their plans were.
Oh, Dyson.
Oh, Chris.
Oh, that's Ernie. Ernie, yeah.
Both of them.
Well, both of them went off.
Yeah, it got compounded. Chris got sideways. Super slick there in Madness, and Chris got
That's
sideways.
turn 9, and we had a report of oil in the last race at the tip of turn 9.
Well, our drone man has now turned to a camera coverage.
Look at that, though.
Brilliant.
So this
Look
could
at
be a
the-
problem
look at the
for
grass.
Ernie. So this could be an overheating problem for Ernie. And at this point, the best thing Ernie could do is get real close to Chris Dyson, close that gap, and then
look at that grass, guys.
Yeah, he would get some stall the air out on that grill, and that would get rid of that grass. But if that stays like that,
3 years ago that we had a bunch of cars with grass on them.
yeah, I think it was about 3 years ago. But that's going to overheat the car for sure.
Yeah, and sometimes at VIR you'll see they run chains. Replay.
Watch this from the drone. I love the fact that we're taking replays from the drone. Fantastic.
Yeah, that's a great shot. Great camera work. Great job.
Well, we shrunk Logano again last night, and he's paid us in perfect way.
Great camera work from Logan, but I don't know how Ernie didn't collect both of them on that one.
Yeah, that was good driving.
Now here's those.
But where's
markers.
Ernie?
Ernie, I think pitted. I think Ernie.
No, he didn't come into the pits. He fell off
right
somewhere.
down.
He's gone somewhere. Yeah.
But
He didn't
past
come
Griffin.
in.
So all sorts of drama there. It's Tommy Drissi. There's second place. They dive through the back markers. We've lost Ernie Francis Jr. for now. Let's see if our Eagle Eye drone can pick him up because we've lost him. But this is exciting stuff.
On board with Chris Dyson here, going through right approaching the carousel right behind Drissi. And Drissi, this is the point he caught traffic at a bad time. See,
Yeah, exactly. Look at this. This is a chance now.
There it is.
Oh, Dyson, and he's got him. Oh, Dyson's got him. What an overtake.
That was a brilliant move. Way to use it as a pick. Now you might see Chris Dyson just set sail. Yeah, here comes Ernie into the pits. Figured he has overheating issues with that grass. They'll get it swept out. He'll get back out there. As long as he doesn't speed, watch him speed.
Listen to Drissi. I heard Terry St. Martin say, keep your head down, keep your head down.
Yeah.
It's good advice.
It is.
So,
Kerry Hitch is having a little bit of an issue being off and on. I think he's going to be fine. No worse for wear.
Here we go. Let's get that grill. Sweep that. Okay, there you go.
Good
Nice
job.
work.
Get it back out there.
Where you go.
Go, 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 go.
Yeah, Billy Roper and
Don't
crew,
speed.
Ernie Sr.
Watch your
going
speed.
through there. Good stuff.
And now he needs a caution. I mean, there's just he's not out of this because it's Ernie Francis Jr. But even Ernie Francis Jr. needs a caution to make up this time.
Yeah, Ernie Francis Jr. sounds like a boxer, and boy, God, he's a fighter.
Yeah, boy, well said, Jonathan. Well said. Very well said, as always.
So we can clearly see that Dyson has brake lights, but I haven't gotten a good shot yet of Drissi to confirm that.
Would that be against the rules?
Yes, you have to have both brake lights. You can have one brake light working per the rules. Here it is.
So this is the pass for the lead, and Dyson really just set that up. He knew that he gave Drissi the room too, so that was smart. Because he knew Drissi was going to be aggressive and not expecting him to be the inside, so that was a really smart move on Chris. And Chris is opening up a little bit of a gap now. Ooh, wide there in turn one though, Chris. He's got to polish that up if he wants to keep this thing going. So yeah, they're going to race up there into the keyhole. Great shots from our drone footage of the keyhole here. You can really see how the corner falls apart, falls away from you on the exit, right where those two leaders are for TA as they drag race down the straightaway behind Richard Grant.
So Ernie Francis is falling back to 7th right now, which is not bad considering he had to come all the way in.
Right. No, that's not bad at all.
There are NASCAR drivers who like to pit at Mid-Ohio and only fall back to 7th and 3rd.
Yeah, there's no joke there. That's for sure. So.
Yeah, we are. I wonder how this works out because we are almost confirming now that Drissi has lost his tail lights because of that fire.
Well, this will be interesting. It'll be interesting what call Trans Am makes, what call the officials make on that. If you know, they deem that his lights were working when the race started, but something on track, whether it be contact with another car or fire like Tommy Drissi had that caused him to go out. Trans Am officials, you know, they may just let that race because it's especially right now he doesn't have anyone racing behind him. I think the rule is more in place that if you leave and you go out there and you don't have brake lights, that's a big problem. I know that in TA2 it's a bigger issue because of the angle that some people have mounted their brake lights. We can't see them when we're inside the car. You can see them in tech, but when you're laying at a different angle inside a car behind him, you can't see them. So it's become a bit of an issue.
And it's likely that Dyson will have put that back to the team, and that's who's probably told the officials that is the case.
Yes.
And I suppose if they lost the race, they could possibly take the steward's view of that.
Hey, but don't count out. We got a great shot there of Simon Gregg. Don't count out Simon Gregg here. And I'm getting a text from one of the competitors. By the rules, you cannot drive without taillights.
Okay.
You can have one taillight, but not both of them going. That's per the rules. But
for the rules,
it's not for us to decide.
That is
luckily.
No, thank goodness. Yeah, no, they leave that up to the big boss man, David Hoots, up there in the booth, and he'll make the call.
Well, with 30 years of NASCAR, I think he's in a good position to do so. Here's Ernie. He's now back out on track. Obviously, he's struggling because he's been got the grass out of the grill. The car's fine now, but he's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, he does Ernie does have a lot of work to do, but this is Ernie Francis Jr. we're talking about. I know that, like we said,
He's 7th overall.
Yeah, we boast him a lot, but this is the reason. You know, he does a fantastic job. He's running lap times of the leaders. Dyson's doing it. Well, Dyson just cracked off a 22.9. You know,
that's
so
nice.
that's a heck of a lap here. It's a heck of a race pace lap. So Dyson's setting sail here, and
I'll say this: for all the problems that Drissi's had, he's still going well, isn't he?
yeah,
Very. No,
yeah.
I'm super impressed with Tommy Drissi and that team of Burton Racing with keeping him in the race. And then, you know, looking at Ernie Francis talking about him like this, seeing future star racing on the side, I think that's a little bit prophetic in a way. 'Cause I believe, yes, that is a future star racing right there.
Billy Griffin, I think, pulling in.
Yep.
That's what it appears to be.
Now, what's
And,
that
I'd love
sign
to know what
say?
that says, but that's to Paul Fix, it looks like. So that's
Okay.
the Ave crew guy using
Well, Tony's going to follow him all the way home.
Yeah.
Until he gets a look at that.
using that Trans Am poster. Maybe saying Ernie behind, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Just found out. Turn option off. We've heard from our buzzing around in the pits. Turn up shift.
Oh, turn up, shift off. Gotcha.
Okay, good stuff. So that's
Don't know what-
Lauren,
don't know
Lauren
what that
reporting from the
means.
pits.
Absolutely, that's our girl.
I don't know what that means, but be interested to see if that picks up his pace. Paul Fix's pace has been really, really off, down on the 129. So that's not a typical Paul
Yeah,
Fix
he
pace.
struggled, yeah.
So I'm hoping it's something to see.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, the car's way off pace there. Ernie
That's
diving
Bernie.
in like he did there.
Ernie up to 6th place now. 21 minutes to go, boys.
Yeah, so I wonder if there's something in the electronics, you know, because these have a they have a lift and shift, so maybe that thing is disruptive and causing an issue. So in the ignition.
Justin Oakes still leading SGT. Billy Griffin 2nd. Lucas still 3rd in the Audi. Milton Grant in his 500th race. On board with Tommy Drissi now. Sounds good.
Simon Gregg has hit his rhythm, to your point, Ben. He just actually turned his fastest lap of the race at a 24.1. So he's actually coming to pace with what Tommy Drissi is running. You got Ernie Francis Jr. at a 23.9. So right there, again, Simon Gregg running a very, very strong pace right now in this latter stage of the race.
It's his favorite track, he told me, and he just seems to have this track really locked in. And he's, from falling back a little bit, he's probably got some pretty good tires on him right now.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I mean, when you can pace yourself at this race at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, and you can really do your own pace, like we saw Rafa do yesterday, you can save your stuff.
Yeah.
When you're forced to do something, when you're forced to race and run your stuff down like the rest of us did in the field, you run out of tires, you run out of brakes here at Mid-Ohio. That's no doubt about that.
So this weekend, Good Boy Bob Coffee there of Eric Joyner. I had my first coffee item ever in my life, and now I think Eric might have me hooked.
Well,
and I'm not really a moderation person, so you can blame him.
By the way, that's a bad mistake. You should have tried a United Airlines coffee before you did that.
I
Because
should've.
now you're only going to go backwards.
No, it was delicious. And everybody in the paddock, he's been giving free coffee to everybody. Good Boy Bob Roasters out of California. They've been caffeinating the whole paddock for the last couple of events, and I hear from people that are connoisseurs, it's the best coffee they've ever had.
It
So
is
thank you,
really
Eric.
good.
My wife is one of those people, and she had a big smile on her face with her first cup of it.
There you go.
So it's I'm not a coffee drinker either. I don't tend to. I'm not your critic for that, but if he wants to make me a chai tea,
There you go.
I'll take
Well, I
one
can
of those.
say legitimately it's the best coffee I've ever had.
Yeah, I mean, there's no.
Simon Gregg.
Look at this. Look at the differential in speed. Adam, that's got to be so difficult.
It is. I mean, you get that a lot in endurance racing too, right? And,
Yep.
and then you see the GT cars, because they don't have the speed, they can be on the brakes so much later. So it's it's really tricky in those aspects. So absolutely, Amy Ruman turned her fastest lap of the race here on lap 29 at a 25.1. So
I would love to see her have a good outcome here. She loves this track. She's from here, Akron, but she's never had a real good outcome here, Stead.
she's 4th right now, and yeah, she's had bad luck here. But she joked with me. She goes, "Yeah, I think we bought half the tickets out here for her family and friends." So the whole Ruman clan is out here. She just wants to do a great job for them, and we all love Amy Ruman and the passion, right? The passion that the Ruman family has there. They exude it. They work so hard to be at every one of these Trans Am races, and just great competitors. So to see her at P4 right now is really fantastic. Turning good lap times too.
Yeah, she just set her fastest lap at 125.1. The previous lap, she's just behind Simon Gregg, and we're hoping maybe for some sort of mechanical, possibly Drissi. We go back on board with David Katarik, who's been in and out with some sort of issue early on in the race, but it's sounding great right now.
We need one of those SRX fake yellow flags right now. And bunch us all together.
Oh, you noticed that, did you?
That was Adam Andretti that said that, not Jonathan Green or Ben Sissel.
No.
Just want to put that disclaimer
Well,
out
no.
there.
Well, I mean, I want to go ahead and say that
That sounded like Marco talking, not Adam.
They have their own. They even say it on their own broadcast.
Yeah.
That's
Like, I think they called it like an Everham flag or something like that.
Because they were calling it fun flags on the first race.
Yeah. So they're not shy about it.
No, they're not shy. So
they're putting on a show and they know it.
Yeah. That's what that SRX is all about. It's great to see our own Ernie Francis Jr. have the drive like he had last night at Eldora Speedway up to 4th. I'm sorry, he ran 8th. He was at 4th in Knoxville. My cousin finished 4th last night, Marco, so shout out to him. He's actually, they're doing P3 today in Watkins Glen with my cousin Marco and my nephew Jarrett and Oliver Askew.
I love Marco's comment. He goes, "How you doing out there?" He goes, "How is it?" He goes, "How is it with Tracy?" He goes, "He's just doing Tracy."
He's just doing Tracy. Well, here's David Paterick just doing David, and he's out there getting through turn 6 up to Madness here underneath the Acura bridge. And that Kryderak Racing Ford Mustang having a fun time here.
Yep.
Richard Grant right ahead there of Amy Ruman.
So 16 minutes to go, just over. Is there going to be a twist in the tail in this one? It's been interesting. Billy Griffin in and out again.
Yeah, you got Ernie there catching up on Eric Joyner and Amy Ruman. Those are both going to be for position, obviously. One of them for overall with Eric Joyner, and then the other one in class with Amy Ruman. But that's looking like it's going to be inevitable here in the next few laps. Ernie will be right on their tail bumper.
So this has been a fascinating racing. We started off with Drissi out front, but then on fire within minutes of the start of the race. Fire coming out of the back of the car, and we thought it was like, because you often see a burst of flames out the exhaust, but not constant. And then Adam picked it up immediately, actually before the race director did, I think, and called it. And then I'm sure Dyson was on the radio immediately to tell both the stewards and those watching. Now they're in traffic. This is really mucky traffic.
Yeah, this is a mess right now.
Yeah, mucky traffic.
Absolutely it is. So you got Ernie that actually took advantage of that with Eric and made that quick move with that. Now Ernie's going to really catch up here with Amy, and it's going to put on a nice little show for us for a few laps. And then he'll set sail after Simon Gregg. You know, he's gaining time on all of them.
You know, he's going to start at the back, stop for grass in the grill, and still get a podium at this rate.
Possibly, yeah, very possibly. Yeah, very possibly. He's got about a 12-second gap once he gets around Amy to get up to Simon Gregg. So he's going to have his work cut out for him. He's about a second to 2 seconds a lap faster than Simon. So he does have enough laps on the board and enough time, I believe, on the clock to get that done. So it's going to make it exciting right here at the end.
Look at the differential between the Corvette. Ernie's gone a long time, hasn't he?
Yeah, he got great drive out of the keyhole too. So out of turn 2, the keyhole that's the corner of the track here that you got to get that drive off of.
Look at that clean car driven by a 15-year-old in a Trans Am race at Mid-Ohio. That's tough.
I'm telling you, if I was 15 and I was driving an Audi R8 at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course in the Trans Am Series,
you would go back to school.
I would be bragging. No, I would be going back to school to brag to everybody about look what I did all summer long. And bet you didn't get to do this.
Yeah, I'd be picking my prom date up in that.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'd be at the tire wall at turn 1, deep stuffed into it. I don't have the talent to do that.
But Seth isn't that kid. No, I couldn't see him boasting this at all. He's a very modest, humble young man and doing his job out there, doing a great job. First ever pro race. I can't stress that enough. He's kept it clean, driving a nice little line through there. And
yeah, he looks smooth.
Yeah, he is. He's doing a good job. He's, you know, those cars, it's a great car to learn on. And I was talking to his dad about what their future should hold, and I was really boasting the Trans Am paddock and classes. And if he's here and then goes to TA2 and really learns how to door-to-door race in TA2, and then you can put him in all the horsepower in the world in TA, and then anything he gets in after a TA car, he will never be intimidated by. So
yeah, good point.
this is just a great paddock to develop that talent. If he's going to develop it at this age, ripe age of 15, man, I think Trans Am paddock would welcome that and would love to have him.
Yeah. Here comes Dyson to overtake him. Dyson on his way as he drifts through the back markers. He's got to keep a wary eye, though. There's still time for Drissi to do something, and Ernie is coming fast.
This has been the tale of Chris Dyson's 2021 season, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And this all-well CBD Ford Mustang, he is, once he gets to the front, you know, unless there's something that happens, late rate caution or something like that, he set sail. He's gone.
Yeah,
and
look at line roll.
yeah,
He
absolutely.
was really upset when he came in. I said this at the grid walk from qualifying. He got out of his car, just took off his helmet, and just walked away. I don't think he said anything, but he was reporting that his front end, look at the sparks there.
What a cool show.
Front end was really hurting, but he still finished just 5/10 behind. That's how close this TA qualifying is and how important it is. Looks, there's something on his front splitter.
I think he might have rubbed
See
the.
that?
I think he rubbed the splitter
arm.
so thin. He rubbed it so thin that it just pulled the strut off.
Yeah.
So it's they got the nose of that car really low. That's how you optimize the aerodynamic downforce of the front of the car. So they've got the front end right down there. I know JJ probably got it right down the ground. It's just been getting ground off a little bit, I think, over the course of 100 miles.
So we're getting down to the last 10 minutes of this 100-mile race. 35 of the 45 gone, 10 to go. And Adam, you've been in this position so many times before. This is where it starts to hurt physically. And you've got to start telling yourself to concentrate and keep hitting your mark. Right?
Especially here in the heat of Mid-Ohio. And also, this is a physical track. This is probably the most physical racetrack that we come to all year long is the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. So absolutely, everyone out there has got their cool suits turned on high, their blowers on the helmets turned on high, and they're just trying to keep themselves as cool as possible. And I guarantee you some of them are asking, is it 10 to go yet? So we are. We're less than 10 to go. We're at 9 to go and 11 minutes on the clock. So looks like we're going to get all our laps in the time frame, which is fantastic.
If my scoring is correct, Seth Lucas is third in SGT, right behind Billy Griffin.
Yeah.
And that's going to be quite a battle. Ford Mustang, Billy Griffin, with Seth Lucas and that V10 Audi R8 right behind him.
That's going to be one I want to see, for
And that's
sure.
for 11th, 12th, and 13th overall as well.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Yeah, Justin has really set sail. You know, he's got a 30-second lead on Billy, but this race, like you said, great point, Ben, between Billy and Seth is going to be probably one for the ages, we're hoping.
Yeah.
Oh, around the outside, Eric Joyner. Plenty of confidence in that number 10.
Around the outside of Kerry Hitt, we've been talking about SRX. Kerry Hitt and Advanced Composites have designed and built all of the bodies. So that's why he wasn't at Sebring, because he had to make, like, I think he said 16 cars, like, as quickly as he could.
That's right. I mean, they do fantastic work. And Kerry Hitt and Advanced Composites, they're responsible for the beauty of these TA cars, too. If you like what you see in the TA car bodies, the Camaro, the Mustang, the Dodge,
The Cadillac.
The Cadillac, that's Kerry Hitt, and that's his group at Advanced Composites. So we owe him so much for what he does for Trans Am Racing. You've been a fan, like Ben said, fans of SRX. You like what you're seeing there, the racing. They're supplying those as well. So you have your own composite bodywork that you need done, I would reach out to them in a heartbeat, Advanced Composites.
He showed me a picture of a new body that he's working on right now for the TA class. I hope it gets approved, but it will be amazing.
Oh, wow, that's... You leave us those teasers, Ben, and we love that about you.
Stay tuned.
Yeah,
well, I can't say it because I'd get in a lot of trouble.
No, we don't want you to say it. It keeps us interested in this. Keeps us wanting to come back for more. Thank you.
I
That's
think
the
there may be another, I'll tease you, not just you doing TA2 at Road America, there may be another TA2 driver that is out there now.
Yeah?
What do you mean?
Well, a driver that's driving today could be in TA2 at Road America.
Oh, nice.
Oh, see,
I love that.
I don't even know who that is.
There you go.
Gave us another teaser.
I'm sworn to secrecy.
So fans, tune in next week. If
Yes.
you're wanting to know what's going on in Trans Am and what these two goofballs next to me in the booth are talking about.
We don't mean to make it a Scooby-Doo episode.
Meddling kids. 122.922 from Ernie Francis Jr. setting his fastest lap. And interestingly enough, there's Justin Oaks.
Yeah, that's a heck of a lap right there by Ernie. Still not the fastest lap of the race. That still goes to Chris Dyson, but a heck of a lap, and he's only 4 seconds behind Simon Gregg now, 5 seconds.
Justin Oaks' 3-month-old baby here this weekend.
Oh,
we were talking about that at Laguna Seca, and he was like, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make every race because my wife is expecting. Now they have a race paddock baby. I love it, and she is loving it as well.
Chris is maneuvering around traffic here in that. And Justin Oaks, a commanding lead Justin Oaks has in SGT.
Very impressive.
And we are still at that half-second gap between Billy Griffin and Seth Lucas there.
Look at that.
And
Ernie.
look at this. Ernie's coming fast now on Simon Gregg. It's only a matter of time. Out of the keyhole he comes, and Gregg is in his sights now.
Yeah, that's only a 2-second gap there to Simon, and then you're 36 seconds from Tommy Drissi. So I believe that's where we'll see Ernie settle in for the rest of the race unless we have a late race caution here.
Great onboard shots and sounds from Ernie's car. You can see the gear he's in, you can see the speed he's doing, and when he's using the brake of the throttle. But he is using it to good use right now as he comes into 6. And look, it's only a matter of time now before he catches Simon Gregg.
Most racers in this situation would be in like red mist scenario, and it's really kind of weird to say a 23-year-old veteran, but he is such a veteran. I don't think this has even phased him.
No, he's calm in there. He was calm the whole time. I can guarantee you when he called in after he went off track, hey, check the grill. When they checked the grill and saw on TV is full, pull me in the pits. I mean, I'm sure it was all calm, radio exchanges and all that. No, the kid really can't be rattled, and that was what honestly makes him such a dangerous competitor.
If Tony Kanaan can't rattle him, nothing will.
Right, there you go. Old TK tried to get around that.
He tried it last night, and I could hear Ernie going, yeah, right.
Yeah.
I love the look of Simon Gregg's car. What a beautiful car.
Yeah, that Peter Gregg Foundation car has just got a beautiful look to it. Yeah, I agree. Probably one of the best liveries. Ooh.
Ernie likes the look of it, but only in his mirrors.
Yeah.
Ernie went for an early apex. Simon went for a late apex, and that doesn't mix when you're that close.
Is this the time? Is this it?
No, look at the motor on that Burton Racing car of Simon Gregg. Wow, that thing has got some oomph. It's handling down the straightaway, that's for sure. Because I know Ernie's got some power, so that's ooh.
Yeah, something happened there.
No!
That was a failure. I think we were on board.
I don't believe this.
I think we were on board for gearbox failure.
We were on board with Ernie Francis Jr.
Pull off,
as it
Ernie.
cut out.
Pull off. Go to the right. Go through the grass of that stop there. Don't make us full yellow.
Oh, he's
fire.
on fire.
No, that's a restarting.
Yeah,
he was restarting it.
yeah.
So that's just raw fuel. That's just a raw fuel as he's trying to restart this. Yeah.
He's pulling off.
Yeah. So he's going to get off there. I think he's in a safe enough spot.
Look at him banging the steering wheel.
Now, this is when we see the emotion of Ernie Francis Jr. We were just talking about how he stays calm, but these situations will get the best out of anybody. So we are under full course caution here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course for this. So,
well, not to bring up scabs and scars, but I've seen Adam Andretti go off here in TA2 on the other side and was wondering what happened on his in-car, and then a tire bounced right in front of him on video.
He's got it,
and so
he's got it fired up.
He does, but he's left his door
He already
out.
threw his door away.
This corner worker's trying to talk to him. Some great corner workers here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, but yeah, he threw his door off. I think he's just trying to get off in a safe spot, but he's out of power. That's unfortunate, and that's going to hurt him in the points.
Yeah, I hate that for Ernie. That's
I feel sorry for
That's
Ernie.
a rough day.
He's done so hard. He's worked so hard for that. Third place was on for sure. And he was literally, like I said, it was only a matter of time. And then suddenly, we were on board with him when he heard it go.
Yeah, there was he grabbed a downshift and there was a clunk, and then the thing lost power. So don't know what happened. Ernie's a smart kid. Like I said, he does all the work on these cars. So
yeah, did you see?
He'll know.
Picked up that he's not about to throw that door.
No.
Because he's got to fix it.
He's got to fix it. By the way, he's got another race yet. He's going to race the single-seaters against some of the best in the country.
And he wasn't going to bang on the dash too hard either because he's going to fix that.
No, I'm here usually the last one to leave, and he's sometimes up there, loading the trucks and doing everything he can.
How about this for a bit of last-minute drama, though, because we're under safety.
Yeah.
We're under safety car, but I believe Tony Pirelli promised us we will end under a green flag.
And all they got to do is move Ernie's car 50 feet forward, and it's in a safe spot.
So this did bunch the group up again, and we have, the restarts. Ooh, watch your helmet there, buddy. The restarts are the best opportunity to pass, as we've discussed in other restarts. So this is going to be really fascinating to see how the rest of this field does here.
This is the hardest part.
I tell you
this
what,
job. This is our friend, our buddy, and everybody in this Trans Am field. We're so close to everybody. The camaraderie is so deep here. You don't wish this on anybody.
No,
it's a shame. He's wearing that emotion quite heavily, and yeah, you really hate it for that whole group. Breathless Racing, they come here. They work so hard to get to every one of these races. And you can see what's in it. And you can see where Ernie's heart is at, and it's in doing well at these races and showing his talent.
This is not a good time, but we got to do it. Let's head down to the pits and talk to the crew chief, Billy, for Ernie Francis.
Billy, I'm so sorry. Tell us what happened.
We're not really sure. The car was running really strong. We were getting back from the little bit of grass that Drissi gave us, and got a really strong vibration in the car and no forward gears right now, so I'm not sure.
Bad luck this weekend and not a great season so far. What will you do for push on for the next race?
Keep working hard. This team never quits. That's our thing, you know. It's we always do the best we can, and we're gonna come back strong.
So you'll always be positive?
Absolutely.
Bad to you, Johnny.
Thank you so much. Good work, Lol. And you can see the emotion both on the pit lane and, of course, in that posture there from Ernie Francis Jr.
I can tell Ben just wants to go out and give him a hug right now, you know, just to comfort the kid.
You know, like I feel like we've known him for so long, and I feel like that with everybody.
Yeah.
And you know what's so weird about this race, and I was trying to explain it to my son Levi, Tommy Drissi and Chris Dyson drove by and got heavy hearts. A part of them, I'm sure, was like, okay, good.
Yeah.
But a part of them was like, oh, man, that's my buddy.
Yeah.
And I saw it last night. Drissi watched the SRX race with us, so did Simon Gray, and they're yelling for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all want that young man to succeed. He's earned it. He's paid his dues. He's earned the opportunity to get that next level shot, and we all want to see that happen for
I'm wondering what the Mid-Ohio crew is doing here. I feel like all they have to do is push that car 50 feet forward, and we can get back to green.
Yeah.
Put Ernie over the wall, unless he dropped oil or something. But let me get your expert. We were on board. We all heard it and saw it. Was that a transmission, rear end? What was that?
It's hard telling. It's hard telling. You know, I've broken a linkage on those sequential gearboxes before, and just breaking those linkages will make that clunk like that, and then you can't find a gear.
Well, let me ask you this, since we're talking about
gearboxes. But it sounded like it died. Like it sounded like he couldn't get power.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I'll have to talk to Ernie afterwards. I'm sure he'll.
But
like I said, he's such a smart young man.
Sequential.
Yes, sir.
You've run the Boris said car that's a standard age, basically.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
What do you prefer?
The standard age.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're more in control?
It's more bulletproof. The sequential gearboxes are just a little bit more temperamental, and they're easier to chew up and have problems. I mean,
well, talking to Boris, and he said the difference is nominal. Really, second to third is the only other movement that you would do. You know, from second getting over to third in a standard H, everything else is just bang, bang, bang in a normal gearbox anyway. And there's a little bit of a weight advantage if you run a normal gearbox, right?
If you run an H pattern, you do get a weight advantage. Yeah, you get to lose some weight on the car, and that's
and there's
nice.
some cost savings in that too.
There's definitely cost savings as well. And
Paul Fix off there.
And I think
at the carousel,
yeah,
Paul Fix was off.
Was he going to the pits maybe?
I don't know. It looked like he was stationary.
It will be under yellow, yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It is unusual for Trans Am, but there must be something else going on that we don't know. There's nobody here that wants to end this race under green than David Hoots.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's done everything he can, but I see a safety car going counter race at the carousel right now, which they don't want to do. I think Paul Fix is stationary. Yeah, Tommy's upset they're not going back to green, and I would be too if I were Tommy. Chris is okay with it.
I just got a text from Lauren Fix that they had transmission failure, so that's why Paul Fix is parked up there in the carousel. So I think that's why.
Lauren Fix, the car coach,
coaching
coach. us here in the booth. I love it.
I love it.
The booth. You know,
yeah, Drissi's not happy because he sensed an opportunity there after all the bad luck he's had today. Oh well.
Now, Paul's in a place where he might be able to come in under the starter if he's got power, but that, you don't want to cook a starter motor.
Well, I tell you what I saw, and I think what Drissi saw too, is Drissi's car took off better on restarts. It took off better at the start of the race. So I think what Tommy was hoping for, was chomping at the bit, was my car fires off better than that 20 car in front of me. I want this restart.
Yeah, I agree. I really do feel for him because he was running such a great race. It seems like the storyline of TA and TA2 sometimes at Mid-Ohio in these really twisty tracks like this is just overcoming adversity. For Ernie to start from the back, move his way up to third, come into the pits for grass, do all that, come back to fourth, and then break right at a
passing point. That's just terrible.
That's the story of the race, that's for sure. And
right as he was getting ready to be back on the podium, but
Yeah.
you know, this again saves Simon Gregg. He's going to maintain his podium position there. He's going to be in 3rd place. That's a great run for him in the Peter Gregg Foundation. Amy Ruman is going to bring this thing home in 4th place for her hometown crowd, which is
good.
Absolutely fantastic. And I believe Ryan McManus is going to have a career day for himself as well, and in his, you know, finishing 5th in class in P6 overall. So
Dyson will come to the checkered flag and take the checkered flag. Ben Sissel heads across to do the podium procedure. Tommy Drissi will be disappointed after all the work he and his team have put in and all the adversity they faced, but they will take a strong 2nd place. It changes the championship yet again with Ernie Francis going out. Got a feel for him, but a great podium for Simon Gregg all the same. And like you say, Amy Ruman pleasing our hometown fans from Akron here in Ohio in 4th place. Eric Joyner right up to 5th overall and leading the XGT championship. And in SGT, Justin Oakes takes the victory over Billy Griffin and Seth Lucas on the podium in his 1st professional race.
That's phenomenal.
That's really
that family's going to be so happy with that performance, as well they should be. And Ave Motorsports put together a great car for him to go out there and showcase his young talent. Just look forward to seeing how he evolves as a young driver. You know, that's one of the things we love about Trans Am 2 is we get to watch evolution. Here's some camaraderie. Drissi popped the throttle a few times to congratulate Chris Dyson on his win. Well-deserved win by Chris.
All right, let's take a look at the highlights then of our TA action. And it started off well with Tommy Drissi, Simon Gregg. Dyson wasn't long past Simon Gregg, and a great start. But then watch this, flames pouring out of the back of Drissi's car. And would he come in? Wouldn't he stay out? But either way, Twaites was off and into China Beach and into the wall. Dyson dicing with Ernie Francis Jr. He got past using that grip by the advice of Adam Andretti. Then onto the grass goes Ernie Francis Jr. and has to come in and clean the grill. There it was. Out he goes. Got all the way back to 7th. In fact, all the way up to 4th. And then bang goes the car. Out goes Ernie. And it's Dyson's win in Mid-Ohio. Back-to-back wins. Great stuff. And, well, the drone had the best shot of the day. He got Francis going onto the grass and showing us exactly what happened in that incident. And his crew chief blamed Drissi for basically going wide. That led Dyson to go wide and Francis to go onto the grass, which meant he had to come in. And that was really the story of the overall race, because it could have been so different.
That just shows, I mean, this is an inch perfect sport, right? You can't have any of those little mistakes and little things happen, and it's an accordion effect, right? It wasn't a mistake on Ernie's part. Ernie had to do what he had to do so they didn't crash, but it ruined his race. It was those little instant moments and not being able to be inch perfect that absolutely took him out of his race, and that's a darn shame. Took a for sure podium spot away from him, and but it's going to be exciting. They got a great podium right here with Chris Dyson, Tommy Drissi, and Simon Gregg.
Yeah, well, hats off to Simon. He like I said, he almost took pole yesterday, and so he's really driven a cracking race, and well done to Justin Oakes as well, winning SGT. But you know, take nothing away from Dyson. He was in the zone again as he was at Line Rock.
I still think Chris had the car to beat. I think he was buying his time with Tommy and saving his stuff, and he was going to have because he showed that. He showed that once he got around Tommy. Tommy wasn't able to attack or match his pace, you know. So that was all Chris Dyson and the CD Racing team here. They do a great job. They're a really good group of racers here, and that's a well-deserved celebration. That was a hard-fought battle for sure.
Yeah, and his new Altwell CBD sponsor is getting some good coverage, I'll tell you, this year.
No kidding. This has been a great partnership for them to develop it this year and show off the talent that this whole group has. I mean, they really love the classic design too. That's a classic Rob Dyson design from his father.
Yep, and as you can see, the balaclava comes off, and I see that Ben is down there, so let's go down to Ben Sissel, who is now going to talk to our winner.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we are, Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. First in points first in the race. Quite a race out there. I know you were really disappointed by your qualifying yesterday. You got to be happy now.
No, I couldn't be happier, Ben. I mean, we really turned it around after yesterday. I was real disappointed because I knew that we had a pole car with the number 20 Altwell Mustang, and we just didn't get to show it yesterday, but I think we showed it today. Had some great battles out there, great clean racing with Ernie early on. Obviously, it's always an absolute battle to go up against Drissi, and I hope we put on a good show out there. I got to tell you, it was physical, it was hot, and we had some beasts to tame here, but that's what Trans Am Racing's all about. And I couldn't be happier for my family and for Greg, who's watching. Thanks for everything. Thanks for all the support. What a weekend for CD Racing. You know, I mean, we won here. We won at Eldora last night with Tyler Courtney. That was just a brilliant weekend. It's a sweep in Ohio.
I love it. I love it. Now, I got to say, ever since you've gone to this livery, it seems like you're unstoppable.
Well, I'm not a superstitious guy, but I do have to.
You are now.
I do have to say that I believe very strongly in this Altwell product, and I'm just so proud and honored to be able to showcase it and give it some exposure. And I'm just hopeful that a lot of people can get out of the brand what I've gotten from it. And I'm just thrilled to be going to the next race with a good points lead. We've always been fast out at Road America. It's going to be a great summer, man. We just got to keep it going like this.
Oh, look at that. Congratulations.
Thanks, Eric. Thanks, bud.
I told the guys I want an in-car camera, a monitor to watch the live stream. It was an awesome race up there.
I don't suggest that, though. Don't text and drive, Eric Joyner. I'm coming back to you, though. So did you see fire coming out of Drissi's car about 4 or 5 laps in?
Man, I was worried for him. It was licking away. I mean, the flames were licking outside of the back of the car, and it could smell the wires. And I knew it wasn't me, but I looked up ahead, and it was just billowing. And thankfully, they got it under control. I'm just glad for his safety because, you know, one of these things goes up, it's scary. We got to be safe.
Nice. I love it. Chris Dyson first here. Where did Eric Joyner go? I saw Eric, but we're going to talk to Justin Oaks. Justin, can we do a little family interview? Would that be okay?
Yeah, let's do it.
So, you know, we've been talking and joking, and you were saying early on in the season that you weren't sure if you'd be able to come to some of the races because you had a surprise coming. Tell us all about your race and introduce us.
Yeah, this is Jackson, the 3-month-old little bundle of joy. This is his first race, so he's coming to Road America with us next week. He's coming to the rest of the races, basically. He loves it. This is my wife, Elaine, by the way. But the race was great. The car performed perfectly. I mean, I had a blast. We put a pretty big gap on second place, and it sounds like he had some trouble. And after that, we went into preserve the car mode to make sure we're ready for next weekend. But it's amazing. I love this place. My first time at Mid-Ohio. It's like a big roller coaster. It's great. I love it. I had a blast. Thank you, everybody.
Nice. I love it. Justin Oaks and family, congratulations here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. We talked about it in the live stream. My first coffee, now I might be hooked.
Oh, that's
yeah. Good boy, Bob Coffee. Great race out there. I talked about this in the grid walk. I'm loving the fact that we're no longer doing split starts. You qualify fifth, and you start with these cars. But man, going down this straight back here, that's got to be crazy with the power that you're up against.
And not on the restart. I think on the start, the green flag. Excuse me. Sunoco's awesome, by the way. So is Pirelli. On the green flag, every one of those TA cars that I out-qualified went by me. And then I just had to keep working. Yeah. And what's fun about it, all the drivers are so good, but it becomes this weird little chess game. And I'm setting up people to pass up at the top carousel, turn 3. But that pass starts to happen at the exit of the carousel onto the front straight. I got to have a good run on them, come flying around 1 and try to outbrake them up there. It's really hard. And someone told me, I think at Monterey, I feel like I'm swimming like with sharks. Yeah. It's just, those things will bite you. Yeah. You know, it's like they have so much horsepower. It's scary, but it was really fun.
Oh, it was so much fun to watch. And one thing about Mid-Ohio, it's kind of like an evening out track. So 1, 2, 3 is the advantage for the big monsters, but then you have them pretty much the rest of the racetrack, so it's crazy.
The tough thing about it is I have them where it's like a single lane through that back part of the racetrack. It is incredibly hard. I had a great race with Amy. I got to tell you, hats off to her. She is a world-class driver. A lot of drivers I can kind of get in their mirrors, so to speak, and they start making mistakes. Amy she didn't make a mistake. And every time we started come up on a slower car, I was like, okay, I got this. She did not put her car wrong. I mean, hats off to Amy. It's great to have her in the series.
Nice.
And I love seeing a clean race car here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Jonathan, back to you. We're about to do winner's circle.
Thank you, Ben. Awesome stuff. Great interview with Eric Joyner. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from both his and SGT's action. Good start, good clean start from everyone, and it's always hard when you're in SGT and GT with the TA cars in the way and certainly coming past you quickly at the end. Joyner, though, as you heard, was picking his moments. Justin Oakes on great form in SGT, and really there was never any doubt. There was a bit of a doubt for Brumman coming through for a big slide through there, but he held on to it in the 24 BMW and finished perfectly. Billy Griffin under pressure here, but Billy Griffin was second in SGT, and the man behind him, just 15 years of age, his first pro race, Seth Lucas, remember the name, Eric Joyner, wins again in XGT. So we take a breath, take a look at the results. Chris Dyson then with the Altwell CBD 20 wins the race. Tommy Drissi in second place. Disappointed, but he's lucky to be there, to be honest. Simon Gregg third, Amy Ruman fourth. Eric Joyner takes fifth overall and wins in XGT. Ryan McManus, good result for him too in TA in sixth place. Kerry Hitt seventh, Richard Grant eighth, Justin Oakes, Billy Griffin taking 10th place for the Griffin Auto Care Sheehan Towing GT4.